What is your worst sleepover experience? 1. My friend and I both got diarrhea from eating bad nachos. He pooped his pants, and my dad had to give him a pair of shorts that fit him loosely. Later, we were jumping on the bed, headbanging to Metallica, and his shorts slipped and I saw pee-pee. 2. I was very young when 2 friends stayed over. I was about to sleep with my eyes shut when one randomly started talking trash about me, thinking I was asleep, and the other joined in after some hesitation. They even considered that I might be awake and tried to slap me awake to make sure they were safe. I haven't forgotten about it since, even though it's been about 20 years. 3. One of the first times I spent the night with a friend, I must have been 10 or 11. He was a year or 2 older, we were teammates, and our families were friends. I realized once I was at their house that the family were vicious yellers. It seemed like no conversation could end without some member of the family screaming at another. It was never really violent, just really wild and loud the entire time. It culminated in the younger brother getting into a huge screaming fight with my friend, followed by his mom discovering my friend's ADHD meds were missing, followed by my friend being accused of stealing and selling his ADHD meds at school by both his parents. His mom was crying, his dad was absolutely furious, and the night ended with a car ride to a nearby gas station to meet my parents so they could pick me up. All 4 members of the family were screaming at each other, throwing accusations, and calling each other names the entire time while I just sat there. 11-year-old me was very excited to go home. 4. I slept in the spare room of my friend's house and didn't realize the curtains had an automatic opening time of 7 a.m., which scared the living crap out of me. 5. I stayed over at a friend's house in high school. As the night wore on, I realized the house was riddled with cockroaches. They were even in the bed. I slept on a chair because it was too late to go home. 6. When I was about 12, I went to a sleepover at my best friend's house for his birthday. His family was great, and I always felt welcome there. The sleepover was pretty typical. We watched a movie, ate junk food, went to bed but didn't sleep, we just stayed up all night talking and eating sweets. At the crack of dawn, we snuck downstairs to play a game on the family PC, this was the mid-90s. Everything was going well, and the strategy we'd planned during the night was working perfectly. But then, out of nowhere, probably due to sleep deprivation and a sugar overload, my friend had a full-on seizure. He let out a guttural moan that terrified me. Panicking, I ran upstairs to wake his parents, and they quickly called an ambulance. He was taken to the hospital for tests, with his dad going along. His mom, still calm and kind, offered me some breakfast before I grabbed my things and walked the short distance home. As soon as I saw my mom, the shock of what had happened hit me, and I broke down. Thankfully, my friend didn't have any serious health issues, and we're still best friends to this day. In fact, we've even been each other's best man. 7. I was friends with a twin as a preteen. Obviously, she and her twin shared a birthday. One year, they had a huge sleepover with both their friend groups. We were all having a blast, and when night came, we realized it would be really cramped if the 2 friend groups tried to squish into the 2 girls' respective bedrooms. I suggested we all sleep on the floor and couches in their downstairs living room. The downstairs was its own suite, with a separate kitchen, bathrooms, everything. It was nowhere near the parents' room or the brothers' room upstairs, so there was no way us doing this would affect anyone else in the family, and we were all girls. But according to her parents, my suggestion was the equivalent of high treason and blasphemy of the highest degree. They full-on publicly berated me in front of all the other girls at the sleepover and told me that it wasn't allowed and also stupid. So we all squeezed into the 2 tiny bedrooms, and nobody got any sleep. I figured at the time it was one of those things I'd eventually understand as an adult, but here I am, 30 years old and still baffled. 8. I had to sleep in a room with a bunch of snake tanks and like 10 old-school mechanical ticking clocks.